Hello and a warm welcome here live from out of Indianapolis for the Pro FSR race. Next to me is of course Jonny Simon, I'm Jong, and we're obviously back for more racing today. Exciting track, isn't it, Jonny?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the shortest track on the FSR calendar, and delighted to be here. And hopefully after the Ace race yesterday, which was quite entertaining, I'm pretty sure that Pro race today shouldn't be the same.
I think entertaining is the right word indeed.
Yes, exactly that. And Q1 now, there's 6.5 minutes remaining where the drivers can run their fastest setups of the weekend, their fastest lap times. And we've got a Kuba Brzezinski in P1 at the moment for Origin SimRacing, who's not sure if we've heard of him, Chris, so far this season, but so far so good.
I surely haven't, but he seems to be up on the top chart here, with the only one being able to do a 110.9, and Mike Partington with 3/10 behind that with 11.2. So after that, the times are really similar, and well, let's see if who runs down to Q2. Like you said, it's only there's still 5 minutes to go. A lot of drivers still having to put in their banker lap. I'm just wondering if Christoph Schroer might be able to take another pole position like last time. Let's see.
So far he's under pressure though. P24, I think he's coming across the line now to complete a lap, and yes he is. So now that puts him up into P2, so he's definitely out of the pressure now. And a big welcome back to Yorick Bojov, who was absent last round, who we had word that he retired from FSR, but he's probably unretired now, and he's come back to prove himself.
It's addictive, you know. Once you did 1 or 2 races in FSR, you clearly want more, you know. And then you see the races coming, and you think, nah, you know, let's just register. You know, I can't quit. What am I fooling myself? I can't quit. So nice to see Yorick Boshoven back. I mean, being a contender for almost every victory. I mean, he's up there, at least scoring podiums. And let's see if he lost some pace. I surely don't hope so.
Certainly on the hot laps page during the week, he did a 1 minute 10.7. That would put him in P1 at the moment. So if you can replicate that, he just does an 11.0, almost breaks into the 1 minute 10s, but that puts him into P2 now, and he should be safe to make it into Q2 with 4.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, definitely. Victor Ivanov on the 10th position for Eventa SimRacing, laying the cutoff at 11.605. So there will be a lot of drivers who will be contesting for that, and as I just said, that he gets pushed out, and now it's Sander Kellas with a 11.5 now on 10th place. So a lot of drivers still not done in this session, and why should they? We have 4 minutes to go, so plenty more of opportunity. I think it's a little bit worrying, or maybe nice to see for one time, that the Rens Klopp is only, let's put it like that, only in a 6th spot at this moment. He's about to go past the start-finish line, but
that's to complete his lap, I think.
Yeah, seeing him in 6th position, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing him having to work for the victory here, instead of him just taking off after the first, second, and the third corner and saying, "Okay, see you in 20 laps," you know.
Yeah, his championship lead is quite comfortable. It's 94 points to Bojov, but as the more races that have gone on, the more he's had to work for the wins. Especially last round, we had drivers like Adrian Falcon, who probably could have won, but unfortunately had some incidents with back markers. So we'll see see how much pressure Klopp will be on today. Another man who's got pressure on him is Alessio Campos in 16th, and we will see if he can take himself into the top 10.
Yeah, Alessio, of course, scored 2 podiums this year, and finds himself now in P16. Mind you, it's only a little bit more than half a second, which gets him, instead of P16, back to P5, P6. So, but it's all of getting those few extra tenths in. Another driver that has to really step up his pace is Jonathan Holmes. I mean, he's in 18th place, 12.0 as a fastest time. So let's see what he can do here. I mean, you would expect him to go to Q2 without a heartbeat, right? So.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm just watching him. He's missed quite a lot of apexes. He's only a 10th up on his lap now, and that's still going to keep him in P18. He's got 1 minute and 57 seconds to go, so he'll finish this lap and leave the garage and have one last effort to get it. I'm not sure if he's told you whether he's practiced or not for this round again, but it certainly doesn't look like it so far.
Definitely not. Like you said, he's 1/10 up, but it still leaves him at 18th place. He can get another lap in, but definitely not what we expect from him. What I didn't expect to see is a new guy, Kuba Brzezinski, being the fastest out on track here. 10.6 for him, and he has a 1.5 lead to Jorik Boshoven. Although if he's in the top 10, it's obviously good. He's cruising back to the pit lane now. Yeah, great job from him. Really astonishing job.
Yeah, and he's surprising us, definitely. And in the meantime, Alessio Campos went into P8. So he's taken himself, not fully out of the pressure zone, but he's still in the top 10. Dewald Nell, though, has been bumped out, I must say, out of Q2 contention. He had a great race at Germany, so he'll be hoping to capitalize on that. And so is Sander Callis, who started quite far back and scored some good points. So I think he is about to commence his final lap with 38 seconds remaining.
Yeah, indeed. And as you just said, that there are a lot of guys still in the pit. I believe they have a back of the grid penalty, like Daniel Brewer. Let's see what he can do from the back of that grid. Jonathan Holmes here on the main straight here, or getting into the oval section, and he really needs to improve in this lap.
Oh, he's going to begin his lap with under 10 seconds to go, so he's timed this perfectly.
Indeed, he timed this perfectly, and with 5 seconds to go, he crosses the start-finishing line, and this is really make it or break it of him. He's in 18th spot. He doesn't have anything to lose, only to gain. Let's see if he can work it out.
Yeah, another guy who has to work it out is James Sadler. He's in the first sector at the moment. Well, look at his time. He's down on his fastest lap so far. So, he's definitely under pressure right now. And he's backed out of the lap. So James Sadler's out of Q2 contention here.
That's a pity for him. So if we could get on board with Jonathan Holmes. He just crossed sector 2. It's time for him now to step up his game.
So what's he aiming for? He's aiming for a 30.5, and he's going to cross the line in a few moments' time.
Yeah, he still has the last corner to go, and finds himself a reasonable exit on top of the straight. Let's see if he can deliver here.
30.3 second sector. He's going to be a few tenths up on this lap. So let's see. He's in P18 now, and now across the line, straightening the car up early, he'll go up to P15. So once again, for the 4th time this year, Jonathan Holmes is out of Q1.
Yeah, indeed. And Jonathan Holmes here definitely telling Carlos Martin to not talk during the qualify. Really funny from him to tell an admin what's what, but it was his right to do so. I mean, a lot of chat going on with the last meters of Jonathan there. Still, nevertheless, P15 under his performance. Another guy who's definitely turned some eyes here is Kuba Brzezinski with a 10.6 and finds himself into first position at this moment. And I would think we will see a lot of contention for the pole position. Also, we might see some switch in strategies, as some people in the Q2 might be able or might prefer to have the soft compound. We have super soft and soft this race, so soft, the soft compound being obviously the harder of the two. I'm really curious to see if people are actually going on the softs.
Yeah, the tire strategy will be, we're expecting about 2 stops, aren't we? And by the way, the tire compounds are identified. The super soft's red and the soft is yellow, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm reading the chat now, and I think Miko Sorkos is in P7, is going to the back of the grid. He admitted to cutting in his lap. No. So that's unfortunate for our round winner from Silverstone.
Well, at least he takes it now. You know, I mean, it's not so nice to see a back of the grid in Monza, for that matter. So he's just keeping it fair and telling Carlos Martin that he already cut it and he can take that penalty now, and he will forget about it for next race. So
Yeah, exactly. Probably a good job to get over and done with, as you said. Campus now will be the first out, and then Timu Valkjärvi is the second driver. No one else, though, at the moment on track for Q2. Now, this is where the drivers will have 5 minutes to set one lap only, and it's only the top 10 that will be allowed. And if you see Santa Callis in P11 going out, that's because we're ignoring Swokos in P7. So Callis is part of that top 10. And Park Ferme rules. So the compound that they qualify on now, and everyone seems to be going out on the super soft, will be the tire they'll have to start the race on.
yeah, like I said earlier, it wouldn't be a surprise for me if people didn't went out and just start on the soft compound in the top 10. I mean, the first corner here is kind of a corner, or let's say the entire first sector, where a lot of things can happen. We already seen that yesterday with the Ace race. Unfortunately, I was part in a little bit of that mix-up. Nevertheless, it might be a strategical move to start on soft and keep as many of the guys behind you and just let them burn their super softs off within a few laps. But never mind. It's not my decision to make. So let's see what they will.
Yeah, it will be interesting to know. Let's go on board now with Alessio Campos. Will start his lap, and he'll cross the line now. DRS will be activated for the start of the lap. He'll max out at around 330 kilometers an hour, and then braking hard for turn 1. Sacrifice the exit into 2, and then power down nice and early. And then you're going to look to the left now. There's no brake markers. Make sure to widen the track, but don't touch the grass. Flow through 4, and then the kink through 5 will ruin your entry into 6, where you need that great front end on the car to stick. And then now he will, the car will understeer away quite a lot through 7. Then you need to power down early for the straight. The second DRS zone now, Campos will go diagonal to set himself up for 8, where he needs to sweep in, power down early, and then jink left for the slow 9 and 10, one by one through here, as he'll struggle for traction now out of 10, but he'll need to make sure that he doesn't do it too much, and then power down through 11 early. So looking like a good lap so far for Campos, and he stays right.
I think a reasonable lap. Let's see what time he can put up onto the boards. It's Alessio Campos with a 11.6. Fair enough. On this track you don't really have to use rod 5 or 6. I think 2 or maybe 3 would be enough. So Timu Valkjärvi instantly dives under the time of Alessio Campos with just over 1/10. He has now provisional pole with 11.482, but as our new guy Kuba Brzezinski is going out on track, I'm sure we're all eager to see what he will do. Sander Callas barely made the time of Alessio Campos. Sebastian Velosa in 4th place, George Winter in 5th place with an 11.8, so he definitely is lost on some time somewhere.
Bojo looks like he's lost some time as well, and he's missed the apex of 11. That's going to ruin his speed throughout the whole final straight. He's going to have to use minimal steering angle now.
The most important corner of the entire track, the last one into second tree.
Yeah. So Bojo will
second.
P2.
Wow. A few thousands of Christoph Schroer. That's amazing. I think he will. Jorik Boshoff will scratch himself on the head for a few moments there, thinking, "Oh, if I didn't make that mistake." But if is always so easy.
Yeah, it's the pressure's on for you, and now especially for these 3 drivers who are left in the top 10. So we have Klopp, who will be next to complete his lap, the championship leader.
Klopp is 2 tenths down. Klopp is 2 tenths down in sector 1, and in sector 2 has to keep it together now.
He hasn't looked particularly strong throughout practice so far.
Yeah, true, and I don't mind that, to be honest. I mean, let him fight for a win this time. You know, let him really have to fight. So 22 of 29.9 in the second sector, which is up there with Christoph Schroer, but he's still 2 tenths down in sector 1. Maybe he's running really low downforce and he can make up for it in sector 2 or sector 3. Let's see, here he comes. Rens Klop aiming for pole position. He takes it. No, he doesn't take it. 11.4 is the maximum he can do. So he finds himself on a provisional 3rd place. But Mike Partington here, the next one to cross the line.
I think he's matching Christoph Schur, Mike Partington. So we'll see how when he goes across turn 13.
Here he comes. Mike Partington, good for A. Yes, he's done it. Provisional pole position, 11.184. That only leaves Kuba Brzezinski in order to steal that away from him. Let's see what he did around this lap. Wow, he's flying.
Oh,
I would be amazed if this wouldn't be a 10.6 or something. I mean, there's no more failures. I mean, Kuba Brzezinski here is going to take pole position away from Mike Partington, whether he likes it or not, or he has to step on the brake right away. But here he comes. Boom!
Geez, and look at the celebration after, wow. So at 10.9 with, remember the times will be slower in Q2 because of all the race ducks you're using and stuff.
Yeah.
Unless...
But I sorry to interrupt you, but I think it's good to point out that Kuba Brzezinski is really a new guy. I mean, after that finishing there of his Q2 lap, he just weaves around and locks the tires. He will take that degradation into the race. So I wouldn't be surprised if he would start on tires that are 90% fresh instead of like 95 or something. So
yeah, so. He's we're amazed because I've seen his name somewhere, but I'm pretty sure this is his first race. That's pretty good. So well done to him on that.
Definitely Origin SimRacing with a new fast driver here. I'm not sure if Ryan Whisper is happy with such a teammate. Like, I was the first guy here.
Well, yeah, I mean Ryan Whisper's in 19th. I think he had the back of the grid anyway, so it's not like he was just slow in 19th. But he'll be proud anyway for someone to give some TV time to Origin SimRacing Pro to the millions of viewers watching out there today.
Definitely.
And warm-up session now. The drivers will have 10 minutes, and this track, I'm not sure if you found out through driving and testing and all that, but the fuel usage around this lap is quite low compared to other rounds. So we'll have about 10 litres less. Normally we'll have around 130 litres. This round probably 120 litres for the 60% distance race. I'm
curious to see if the fuel consumption is even less than in Monza, because in real Formula 1 Monza is the track with the lowest fuel consumption. But they drive the fastest. Yes, they do. But they also drive with the least downforce, so the car is least heavy, so to speak. It's the same story here on Indianapolis. I don't think it would have been the same story when we actually would drive on Spa. We all know, unfortunately, that had to be cancelled with invisible walls through Eau Rouge, which would make Eau Rouge a little bit, too risky. It's already a risky corner without invisible walls, let alone with them. But yeah, I think this venue is certainly up to the FSR standards. It has high speed. I mean, it has everything, you can overtake there. It's really interesting to see which of the drivers put up a low downforce setup, and which drivers didn't. Because if you have a top speed of 330, maybe even 340, then you will easily breathe past the guys who are only reaching 310, 320.
Yeah, there's probably the fastest cars we'll see. I don't know who it is, but we'll probably see around 340. That's the extreme top speed. And the slowest guys will be around 325 or even 320. But we'll let you guys know out there watching who's doing who. I'm watching Kuba Brzezinski now with no DRS. He's at 326. So he'll probably max out around 330 with DRS. We will 7.5 minutes remaining. And we'll talk about a few things now for the last, from the last round that we should mention. We have Bojov, who I mentioned before, will be returning, which is good. He's 94 points behind Bojov, 50 points for a win. And he's got 5 rounds left, including this one, to catch up. and complete that lead. Take that lead. And we have Jonathan Holmes, who's missed Q2 once again. The Twister driver will be looking to capitalize on the amount of overtakes he will perform today. We'll definitely look for some entertainment there. There's Adrian Falcon, who I'm going to quickly scan through the list now. I don't think I can see him so far. But yeah, he's not here today, so that's... Okay, that's less exciting then. But he was a driver who almost won at Hockenheim before he unfortunately got caught up with a back marker while in the lead, I must say. And another driver who'll be looking to perform well is Swokos, but considering he's going to have to start from the back of the grid this round after cutting in Q1, that's not going to help his chances so far. Remember, he won the last race of the first half of the season. That was Silverstone, and he proved that he had what it takes to win, basically. And another driver who is also at the... Is that Christoph Schur as well? He almost took pole, didn't he? I think he's in P2. He's another driver we must look out for today, as so far the times in warm-up, Klopp seems to have the race pace with a 12.8 on super softs and race fuel.
That might have been his strategy. Like I don't care about qualify. I'm just gonna blast you guys on every straight I see you. You know?
Yeah. So that might could be a strategic play, as you say there. I mean, telling people, this is a bit extreme, but showing people you don't have the pace and quality, and they'll ignore you in the race, and then actually no, don't worry about that.
We have seen the quite opposite with Christoph Schroer earlier on in the season. He managed to get back from that a little bit, but we've seen it much of times where he was really fast in qualifying, you know, always top 3, top 5, and then he would just like edge back out of the top 10 even. I remember in Bahrain. And well, it's really the conditions are really not similar within qualifying and race, and people are at home are thinking, oh really, are you joking, Chris? No, but the thing is, there are so many things to take into consideration for the race. I mean, pushing a little bit too hard can edge the tires off, and then you will lose 3 or 4 laps, or with one specific lockup you can destroy your front tires or rear tires and just create a flat spot which is almost undrivable. So as Rens Klopp makes his way up to the grid already to have himself a practice start, I don't think he will have any problems with the first gear. He seems to do. It seems that he has done his homework really properly.
Yeah, much like it was Patrick de Witt in Germany who had a back of the grid. So he basically just set up first, second gear for a perfect start, and that's why he jumped almost 10 positions in one lap. That's pretty amazing. So we'll see if Klopp has set that up for not overall lap time, but for a good start. Yeah, and also mentioning Daniel Brewer, who we apparently had an asthma attack during the last race. Me and Chris said that he might have just rage quitted or something, but that was quite not distressing, but quite a close for what's the right words?
Well, that's not a nice situation. Let's put it like that. Or you can just say, FSR is such a realistic race simulation. It takes your breath away. So no, that's really not meant to be really funny like that. But no, I mean, I don't know what it's like to have asthma, but I mean, I suppose it's terrifying. So yeah. Let's
and
see
hats
if
off to sorry, go on.
No, I just wanted to say like, let's hope he won't have any of these complications ever again, especially not driving into the race. So Carlos Martin, our race director for today and for the rest of the season, obviously said we are about to start the race, and tension times are ahead of us.
Anyway, just going back to Daniel Brewer quickly, I mean, hats off to him. I think he was starting to have an asthma attack around a quarter through the race, and he kept on going until he finally spun and gave up. And then he participated in World Championship an hour later. That is braveness at the most extreme level.
Indeed, especially for online racing. I mean, you gotta be a real man to do that, right? But
Yeah.
as we as we get ourselves on towards the grid, it's Kuba Brzezinski in a fashionable pole position for him. For me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, I mean, I haven't seen him here. So first race in FSR, instantly takes the pole position. Mike Partington, not shy of taking a second starting place here. He's having a great perspective. Christoph Schroer finds himself in third place. Jorik Boshoven in fourth. Rens Klopp in fifth place. Timo Valkejärvi, who did a really astonishing job, finds himself into sixth place. Italian guy Alessio Campos in seventh. Sander Callas in eighth. Sebastian Velosa in ninth. George Winter in 10th. Ewald Nel in 11th place. Sebastian Dunkel in 12th place. Really reminds me of Sebastian Kunkel, you know, but that's something else. Victor Ivanov in 13th place. Jonathan Holmes in rather disappointing 14th place for his standards. Guglielmo Matti in 15th place. James Settler in 16th. Edward Corr in 17th. And Cam Stark in 18th. Ryan Whisper in 19th. Rando Tam in 20th. David Izquierdo in 21st. Miko Sokas in 22nd, obviously because he cut it into Q1. Daniel Brewer into 23rd. Eugene von Loggerberg, there we have the swag full name again, still in the pits. He might start out of the pit, but he is in 24th place. Cordell Cahill in 25th. And Fred Bawden at 26th. And I'm out of breath. I mean, 26 drivers here, a full line-up grid for the pro race. What more do we want? I mean, good weather. I mean, there is 0% chance of rain, so don't even worry about that.
Yeah, tops off and start tanning and get that sunscreen on. It's Kuba Brzezinski, we can confirm from, I searched him up on GPCOS or whatever you want to call it. I call it Jipcos because I take the piss out of it, but he has never raced in FSR, I'm pretty sure, and he's the Polish driver as well. And if you didn't take that from his surname.
Yeah, a Polish driver on pole here.
Yes, and hopefully as good as his compatriot Robert Kubica, who unfortunately will fortunately we'll hope to see him soon in Formula 1. Remember, Kuba Brzezinski is going to start on the inside. If you're wondering, pole position here is not on the clean side of the grid. That can be argued as to what is better. We'll have Fred Bowden is the final driver who will take the grid. So, we will have Eugene van Logrenberg, the swaggish name, starting in the pits. The lights will go on. We'll have 26 ambitious drivers getting ready to scream towards turn 1. Oh, I think Mark Partington jumped the start.
He jumped the start.
He will take the lead so far, and I'm not sure if that's unsettled any more drivers. Bojo will take Christoph Schur into turn 1. So far it's Brzezinski, Bojo from Schur. So far, so clean through this tricky and is that Bowden running wide? No, it's not. So far, there's a bit of contact in the back, and I think that is one of the Avid Chronic cars. That's DeWalt Nell who spun off, and that's a.
It was DeWalt Nell and collecting a lot of drivers, as you said. It's tension here, from pure tension.
Oh, Partington still has the lead, and I think Brzezinski's right onto the back of him. I don't think he'll be able to pass through here unless he dive bombs. He doesn't. He stays composed, and so does Mike Partington. And he'll just have to make sure to wait and not push Mike Partington too much, because he knows he'll be taking a drive-through sometime soon.
Indeed, and Rens Klopp already applying pressure to Christoph Schroer, but Rens Klopp has to be aware of the fact that Alessio Campos, who started outside of the top 10, already made his way up to 6th place. Timo Valkejärvi did lose a little bit of place, but that's always how it goes at the start of any race. People lose some, people win some. And clearly Alessio Campos being the winner of the lot.
Oh, back to the lead. This is Brzezinski. Just pulls out at the last second, much like Alonso does. And Partington's lead is gone, so that's his race starting to fall like dominoes at the moment. Remember, he still has that drive-through he'll probably need to take. We're assuming so. And
Yeah,
Bojov is the next driver who will look to pass him.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate for him, and maybe it was just the pressure getting the better of him. The grid was already like edging out quite a lot, and it's really starting from. Let's see. Oh, never mind what I said.
It's quite tight, though, as you will point out.
Yeah, but
between
Kuba Brzezinski, our new Polish driver who started out on pole, is already taking a lead of Mike Partington. Mike Partington, well, probably pits right now or any lap soon, but he already is more than 1 second shy of Mike.
Yeah, so Kuba Brzezinski, first race, could be first win here, much like Eddie Thurman did in the Winter Series at the start of the year. And that will be a great start to his FSR career.
Yeah, and Rens Klopp actually took 4th place from Christoph Schroer, and Christoph Schroer finds himself under pressure of Alessio Campos, who isn't letting go of the top 5, which is good. But Christoph Schroer here with a little bit of, well, problems on keeping up with the guys in front of him, which is no surprise because they are driving a tremendous pace.
Looking at the gaps near the back, so now from 1st place to 10th, that's Sebastian Dunkel, it's 6.3 seconds. Oh, you look at what position that's Daniel Brewer fighting through the field. He's in P14 now, and he's had a great start to jump up into there, and Swakas as well in front of him. They're working together. Cam Stark almost pushes him. He'll run off the track onto the grass, and he'll spin. Unfortunately, oh, he hits the wall as well, and there's damage.
And then Fred Bowden collecting everyone there. Rando Tam being the victim of that, and it all started with Cam Stark having to take avoiding action on towards Brewer there. He misjudged the braking point, and well, this is certainly not what he would have wanted from that action.
Yeah, I mean, that unsettled the drivers quite a lot, as Mike Partington still stays out. I think it's 5 laps before he'll have to take that drive through. The longer you stay out, the better, because the field will spread out. So you won't come back out into traffic. That can be argued which is better to do. David Escuderio has retired, unfortunately, in his first race. He's replacing Thomas Correala at Crown 7 Netrex for this round. So unfortunately, after 1 lap, his first race is over.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Sorry, is that Klopp into P3? Yeah, he's taking Bojov.
He has taken Bojov. A lot of action here going around on the track. And Rens Klopp now eager to get past Mike Partington as well. And it seems like Kuba Brzezinski is losing a little bit of his lead from Mike. I don't think Mike is really a driver to be worried about for the Polish guy, because I'm sure he has to take a drive-through or any penalty of some sort. But Rens Klopp is really maybe even looking strong for the win here, because his race pace is the best of everyone here at this moment.
Yeah, it's sort of every round I mean, hats off to Rens Klopp, amazing driver, but we want to see other drivers winning as well. So you always want to say like, oh, we think Klopp might struggle and everything. He just comes out of nowhere and takes wins and wins and wins. That's why he's leading the championship, because he's the terrific driver he is.
Yeah, but it's good to have a driver set up a high standard. I mean, like in 2011 it was, I believe, when Bono won all races, but only 2. Well, I mean, you just can't say that there aren't any other good drivers around there like that. Not that you did say that, but it's like the level of some drivers are just shooting out of the roof.
Yeah, and we want to see more of that, more potential. And that's what we're getting. Christoph Schorler has a bad exit out of 11, but Campos is not close behind. Christoph Schorler is in 5th. He's been dropped by the top 4. Partington finally comes in for his... Is it a drive-through or a stop-go? We'll see.
At least he will lose out a lot.
Might feed out into a P15 here, so that's not bad for him. Oh, actually, it is.
It's a drive-through.
not as bad as I thought it would be. Yes, it's a drive-through, as you said, Chris. So Mike Partington feeds out behind Daniel Brewer, and that's P14, and he will about 15 seconds off the lead. So he's lost, as we said, 14 seconds.
Yeah, definitely, and that's really unfortunate for him. And it's a little bit hard to say. I don't feel really sorry. You know, it's like Maldonado in Spa a few years ago. You know, if you have a false start, then you gotta bear the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, that full start by Maldonado was, at first we thought it was just the best start in history, and then it turned out obviously he did jump the start. Campos is getting a bit restless behind Score. He's getting stuck behind him and slowed down. And as you said, we'll see if Christoph Score can maintain his race pace, because we know he has the quali pace. We'll see if those tyres hold up for this first stint.
Yeah, and it's a really tough call for me what I'm going to say now, but I think in 2 or 3 laps Rens will actually catch Cuba and Brzezinski like that, and will make his way past that, because he's really edging out 10. A few tenths each sector. So, and Jorik Boshoff is not dropping away from Rens as well. So he has been back he has been away for some weeks now, Jorik Boshoff, but certainly didn't lose the spirit, which is nice to see.
Yeah, and he's probably been powering himself up for a big sling for this remaining races of the season. Looking at the battle for P11, Victor Ivanov is in that position now. Swerkos and Brewer, who had the back of the grids, and Mike Partington's fed right behind them. So these 3 speedy drivers, who will probably score points if they don't get caught up in incidents. This is going to be fun to watch them almost working together, although they are from separate teams. And we'll see what they can do throughout the course of the race. Ivanov is in 11th for Aventa. His teammate Partington is in 14th. So we'll see what Ivanov can do to support Mike Partington here.
Indeed. And the top speed of Cuba Brzezinski is around 325, 326. Rens
was the same.
Tops that as well. And our top 5 is spreading out a little bit further from the rest of the field.
Yeah, De Wardenel is unfortunately retired. He had a great race at Germany, finishing in the points. So unfortunately for him, he is out.
Yeah, he had that crash earlier in the race, in the first lap.
Yeah, the first lap
so.
crash. I think we didn't really see what happened, but there was almost 4 wide with the drivers in such a tight section of the track. But back to the lead, it's 1.2 from Brzezinski to Klopp, and it's 1.1 from Klopp to Bojov. Oh, sure, Christoph Score. Sorry, Christoph Score is struggling for traction out of this slow 9 and 10, and but then he gets on the power early, which Campos can't do for the exit of 10 and then 11, and that's what's keeping Score ahead of him.
I think he might get him now. If we could go on board with Alessio Campos here, maybe with the DRS effect, he might be able to get a shot in, and combined with the draft, I think he's a little bit too far. Doesn't even have has taken a look. So Alessio here, wise to save his tires a little bit, and Christoph Schroer, like you said, struggling along to keep inside of Jorik Boshofer. And I think for him a little bit unfortunate, but he has to postpone the battle. And as I just said, that Rens Klopp is eating away the advantage that Cuba has, and it's almost within a second's range.
Yeah, so Klopp now, this is going to shape out into a great battle for the lead. There's no pressure on Brzezinski, remember, his first race. He's proved himself, you could argue, already, with the gap now in Sector 2 is still 1.1. So yeah, Brzezinski's got no championship battle underneath him or on top of him that's going to weigh him down. But
and in terms of pressure, I mean, a driver can only feel the pressure that he's putting on him himself, you know. So let's see if he can get his head cool. 14.006 now, and Rens Klopp just a thousandth of a fraction slower than that. So he might have found a second life in his tires or something. I do think that we will see the first set of pit stops within 2 or 3 laps from the front runners.
Yeah, exactly. If that's a 2-stop race we're talking about there, so they'll switch on to the softs and then hopefully complete around a 17 lap stint on the softs and then pit again with 17 laps remaining.
Everyone inside of the top 10 is currently on super soft tires, and Victor Ivanov is actually the first guy on soft tires, and he's driving around in 11th place.
Oh, so how about this? I didn't notice that, so it's interesting that you know that. Ivanov in 11th on softs, Swokos and Brewer right behind him, both on softs. Partington with a drive-through on super softs. So now, this is not played out for the best for Mike Partington, obviously, with a drive-through. And now Cordell Cahill, who is a lapped car in P23, is on fresh super softs, trying to unlap himself.
But with 10 laps gone, Alessio Campos is the first to pit here and finds himself into his pit box. Goes back onto Alessio.
Sorry, Alessio pits, and Ivanov pits as well. He's on the soft, so lap 10, that's a bit early. Sander Kalle spun at the gravel trap while Alessio pitted as well, so he lost a lot of time, and he's down into P11 now.
Yeah, interesting decisions here. And I think Christoph Schroer will come in either this lap or the next one, because he's really seems to be struggling. Rens Klopp, however, he feels comfortable. And I think either way, it could be that Rens decides to pit 1 or 2 laps earlier to get a fresh lap in on maybe new super soft tires and to jump Cuba that way. But it might be that Cuba Brzezinski is saying, okay, I'm going to pit now, you have to follow me, you know?
Yeah, you can do that fake little swerve that Brzezinski, you can do, like to pretend you're going to pit, but you don't. Klopp doesn't pit, so he's not going to go and undercut Brzezinski. That's probably the best option, as you said, to take this lead. But you'll probably have to earn it on track now. Velosa will pit in the meantime.
Oops. Let's see.
Sam Jones just told us Cyril Bojov is behind Christoph Schroer, and I'm trying to find it in the replay. I'll let you guys know when that happens.
Yeah, and by the way, Sebastian Velosa on the pit entry barely scraped the wall with his left rear tire there, so he might sustain a little bit of damage. Let's hope not for him, but really weird to see.
So the first pit stop's coming to play. I have no idea when Schroer got past Bojov right now. Dunkel spins, and it was Bojov through turn 9, that slow little section. He just lost the rear end of the car, and that's when Schroer and Campos passed him. That was when Campos pitted.
Indeed, and are the leaders going to pit in this lap around? They are certainly not. So they are continuing, and Christoph Schroer now losing seconds each lap. That's not the way how he wants it, but nevertheless he stays out.
Does that open up a possibility of a one-stop then? Because it seems Brzezinski and Klopp have stretched it out. One-stop will be pushing it to the limit.
No, there's no possible way to. There's no possible way to do a one-stop. I mean, I can put my hand into the fire for that. I mean, if they would do like let's say 5 more laps, it would still leave like 26 laps or 27 laps even on soft tires, and I don't think that's the most competitive and fastest way around here. Nevertheless, they can prove me wrong, of course, but I can almost say I guarantee that there will be a 2-stop. Rens Klopp now definitely pressuring Cuba Brzezinski here, and I don't hope for that Cuba has something wrong with his car, because I mean Rens is just...
Oh, 7/10. Wow, he's eating up into the lead, and this is unfortunate for Bojov. If he didn't spin, he probably would have undercutted them both. Klopp will enter the pit lane.
And now it's time for Cuba Brzezinski to answer. He still has clear air in front of him. But I mean, he has to pit in this lap, and he already put on his pit light. So if nothing goes wrong with the pit stop of Rens Klopp, if the pit crew doesn't mess up, then there would be an opportunity for Rens to take the lead. But let's see if he gets stuck inside of traffic.
So Rens Klopp. No, he's out in front of Alessio Campos. Yeah, so he's got a clean track ahead of him. Cordell Cahill's a lapped car. If you do see him, Callis pits from P11. And so does Jonathan Holmes.
Cahill, Cordell Cahill, who's already lapped down, who you just mentioned, has to get out of the way cleanly here. Rens Klopp just almost pushing him off the track, and I mean, I would do the same. What are you doing? You're holding up a contender for the lead. Rens Klopp here being held up consistently by Cordell Cahill, who has no clue that Rens Klopp is in any race at this moment. What an immature move that was from him. I mean, you do have 1 or 2 corners, or maybe for the regulations even 3 corners, but that's just pushing it, man.
And he gets out of the way of Campos, so that's interesting now. Maybe
he does. And where is our first guy? Cuba actually pitted right now. And Timo Vakajärvi in entry of the pit spins the car around and loses the front wing, or at least the tip of it. And Cuba Brzezinski is coming out on track again and in front of Rens Klopp. And I do think that Rens Klopp is getting really angry with Cordell Cahill after this race. And well, I would feel the same, man. That was just unresponsible.
Yeah, get straight out of the way of the leaders, and he's ruined any fight we had of... oh, is that Fred Bowden off the track, so Klopp will avoid that. Oh, that got me
Christoph
nervous.
Shore spins again. Oh, he manages to keep it on the track, but he drifts around, and he already put on his pit light for this lap. But this is a clear example of staying out a little bit too long, 14 or even 15 laps on the super soft tires, and well, sector 2 here, 34 seconds for Christoph Shore. He's losing effectively 3 seconds in one sector. This is not a good job for him, and I think he will lose a lot of time during this pit stop. Oh, and he almost spins again, Christoph Shore. This is not how to do it.
Pushing it to the limit. George Winter pits as well for Abbott Chronic Racing.
And Mikko Sokas now into the lead of the race after having started from the back. Mind you, he didn't pit yet, but he's in the lead of this race. And Rens Klopp now with Daniel Brewer in front of him, which is not optimal. Cuba Brzezinski actually went back onto the super soft tires, and Rens Klopp on the soft tires. So it would be fair to say that the obvious thing that would happen is that Cuba Brzezinski will get a lot of get a big gap into Rens, but
look at this, he's gonna have DRS.
Yeah, I mean, and he has fresh tires, so this is purely a no-brainer. And Mikko Sokas not even attempting a defend there, and I mean, you can't prove him wrong on that. So
wonderful job from Brzezinski to easily take the lead. And Sokas and Brewer, remember, they started on the softs. They're essentially on a different strategy. Klopp now will have to dispose of them as soon as he can to take control of this race. And he's Sokas pits, Brewer doesn't. So Klopp will have DRS on Daniel Brewer. Straighten the car up early to maximize the engine power, and Klopp will take this position rather easily, or maybe not. See if Brewer breaks around the outside, he probably won't have the grip, and Klopp will take that. Brewer lets him go.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, with Brewer there on the outside, there's no way to come back underneath him. So Rens Klopp doing it by the book. And now it's his job and duty to not let the gap that Cuba Brzezinski obviously will pull to get it extensive or anything like that. If he manages to make this stint work for Rens, he does know that Cuba Brzezinski still has to go onto the soft tire, and he can cut across him when he can do his final pit stop, if they are not doing one pit stop. But I mean, I'm sure Rens Klopp will pit again, and he can have the freedom to go to the super soft tire. So on a tactical point of view, I do think that Rens Klopp still has the advantage here, although Cuba Brzezinski is still in the lead. So let's see how how things will turn out, because we already seen, even with guys pitting here with the cornering pit entry, a mistake is easily made.
Yeah, and there's in front of Brzezinski that's Ryan Winsper. He's got a smoking engine.
Sorry, Alessio Campos on the inside of Brewer. And Brewer gives him a lot of space actually, and lets him live. Alessio Campos didn't make a way past and finds himself still in 4th place with Daniel Brewer on 3rd.
If you're seeing smoke, by the way, that's Ryan Winsper's car. He's being lapped at the moment. He lets his teammate in the lead through, and he's way off the track, and that's not just to make sure it doesn't get in the leader's way. Campos now almost beaches the car on the curb. He'll have DRS behind Brewer, but I don't think he'll get a pass done. Oh, he goes up the inside? No, so Brewer cuts him off there.
Just applying some pressure. With a healthy look there.
So we're expecting him to pass Daniel Brewer on the main straight here. Brakes very late, Campos. Power down nice and early. He might even pass him before the second to last corner now. Oh, look at that. He's swerving behind him. And he'll just have to be patient now, because he'll know he'll get the pass done.
Yeah, he sure has, but Daniel Brewer looking nice on top speed. Doesn't choose the defending line here, and why should he? He's on all the time. And he actually lets Jorik Boshover pass as well. Obviously that's his teammate, so...
Yeah, I think that's a bit tactical there by Go Speed. So Brewer is, remember, on a different strategy, so he doesn't want to lose too much time battling and ruining his tyres with these
and
guys.
Actually, sorry to interrupt, but Rens Klopp actually being faster in Sector 1 than Kuba Brzezinski at the moment. It's not what you expect when you have super softs and soft, because the difference between those tires, it's maybe just one compound. It's not like super soft and medium or hard, let's put it like that. But I mean, I do think in race conditions it should be at least 7 or 8 tenths, the difference. So yeah, if we can imply that Kuba Brzezinski's super soft tires are already starting to wear off, that wouldn't be a good sign. But
let's do some quick calculations. Let's say Klopp hits with 12 laps to go, puts on the super softs. Let's say the super softs are half a second a lap quicker, so he'll need a 6-second buffer for Brzezinski to have any chance of catching him for the lead.
And last lap Rens Klopp only gave in 3 tenths to Brzezinski. So Rens Klopp here doing a fantastic job of the Twister Racing.
Yeah, and that's why he's championship leader. Don't forget. And of course you haven't forgotten, because we mentioned that a billion times, as it's 3 seconds now the gap. So Klopp's first sector seems to be the strongest, and then Brzezinski's last sector is the strongest for him compared to Klopp, and then the middle sector is quite equal. So to get any fair comparison of a gap, we'll probably just have to measure it in the middle sector across the start-finish line.
Yeah, definitely. So 30.6 in sector 3 for Brzezinski, 31.0 for Rens Klopp. Rens losing 4 tenths in only that last sector here. So definitely a battle that's going lap by lap in terms of tactical advantages and disadvantages. Because, mind you, Kuba Brzezinski still has to go onto the soft tire, where Rens Klopp can easily afford himself a super soft tire with, let's say, 10 laps to go. So
this race has taken a good turn for the positive note.
I agree.
That doesn't make any sense, but we will see how this will shape out in the remaining laps. And a good job by Alessio Campos to be in P3.
Miko Suokas just took Timo Valkyervi for 9th place. So although he did start from the back of the grid after having that cut in Q1, Miko Suokas is eager to find himself back into contention and does so brilliantly with a 9th spot at this moment. And he has he shows no sign of giving up. George Winter is just a few tenths or even 1 second away, and in front of that is Sebastian Pelosa. So let's keep an eye out on Miko Suokas, what he can do.
Yeah, Suokas 4th in the championship. Holmes is 3rd. He's 10 points in front of Miko, and Miko will probably get a few extra points on Jonathan if he finishes today. So he'll take that P3. Holmes has done a nice consistent job, not in qualifying, and that's not meant to be any mean comments. But other than that, he's been consistent throughout the season, so good job from him for Twister. Swarkus now is going to have DRS on Jong Winter, and he's almost going to pass him. Oh, Winter's off the marbles. Is he going to hit the wall? No, he turns in. So, and he has a go now on Swarkus. He won't have DRS though, so Mikko will be able to maintain that position, albeit to a certain extent, Winter tries to outbrake Mikko Swarkus, and the faster than speed driver takes P8.
Indeed, it does so. And Alessio Campos still holding on that last podium spot here. I do think that if we don't see any crazy... Here comes the commentator's curse, by the way. If we don't see any crazy moves or actions inside of top 2 runners, that we basically have our top 2 decided. The only way to find out now is in which order.
Unfortunately, Dunkel has spun again, and that's not going to do any good for his race. That promotes Jonathan Holmes to P13. Mike Partington retired, by the way, quite a while ago on lap 14. It's lap 22 now, but I'm not sure what happened there. So he's coming from P2 on the grid. His race has lots of potential, but it's turned out to be the diamond in the dirt race for Mike Partington, as Klopp's gap to Kuba Brzezinski is 4 seconds now.
It is 4 seconds, and he does have to have a little bit of a larger gap than that.
When you mention the commentator's curse as well, Hockenheim was quite a crazy race.
Sure
already we're halfway through, and Hockenheim had as much action as I won't say any dirty comments, but so far so clean, if you get that phrase there. And Klopp's gap to is slowly dropping time to Brzezinski. Remember, Brzezinski's on the super softs, so it's going to be quite an entertaining finish to the race here for the win, as Campus is starting to drop Yorick Bojov.
Yeah, and Brzezinski is...
Sorry, I thought Campus was going to pit, but he's just taking quite a tight line into the final corner. So
he did a pit dummy.
Yeah, that's something I tried to do yesterday, and it almost worked out for me. So it's smart moving by Alessio Campos.
Oh, Sokas here onto Sebastian Velosa, takes the outside line and brilliantly gets past for 7th place. So as we just said a few laps earlier, that we have to keep an eye out for him. He already took those 2 places and is now looking forward to Daniel Brewer, which will be his next victim, and he's instantly creating a gap between him and Sebastian Velosa behind him. So Mikko Sokas didn't lose any fighting spirit after that, the back of the grid.
No, definitely not, but unfortunately he was in front of Brewer at the start of the race. I can't recall how he's behind him now. If I looked over the replay I would, but now he's on super softs, is that Swarkus, so that's not... oh, Brewer must have pitted later than him. You know, I have no idea, but they're pretty much racing with each other now, and they're in 6th and 7th.
And Brzezinski here pulling out some... Yeah?
Sorry, Campos and Bojov both pit at the same time, so we'll see who jumps who. Campos has a relatively fast pit stop, and he'll probably stay ahead of Yorick, which he does.
Sure will. But what I wanted to say is that Brzezinski is putting in some amazingly timed and consistent lap times here, and well, Rens Klopp really has to take every inch of motivation here from his body in order to clinch this win, because Brzezinski is looking strong for it.
And look at Campos on Sander Callis. Campos with fresh tyres out of the pits. This is going to be very tight through that turn 5 kink, and Campos around the outside. Don't tell me he's going to do that on the marbles. Oh no, he's going to do it. Oh wow, Alessio Campos, that has got to be one of the greatest moves I've ever seen, on fresher tyres nonetheless, but that was terrific. And Bojov as well takes advantage of Callis struggling for a grip, and now Bojov on fresher tyres will hope to shape up Alessio across the main straight.
Yeah. But that was a brilliant move indeed from Alessio, keeping the Italian spirit high here, driving with his heart, and it definitely worked out for him there. And he's looking forward now to reclaim some positions as Sebastian Velosa pits, and basically everyone in front of him has to be at the pit. So let's see. Sebastian Velosa is exiting his pit box once again. He will drop down quite extensively, and Jorrit Boshoff now having a look at Alessio Campos, but it's nothing more than that. It was just a look, and he just can't find to get a move in because of the top speed of the Netrix car that is just so immense.
And as you say that was quite an aggressive battle across the straight. Alessio Campos was taking some lines to throw off Bojov, who seems to break very deep into this turn 6-7 complex. Campos gets on the power down early, and he'll that's what's important, so you don't get past. So Alessio playing tactically in a strategic role here.
So at 13.7 now for Brzezinski, and Klopp answers with a 14.2, so lost 5/10 there to Brzezinski. I'm really curious how this is shaping out, because Brzezinski now will be in the window of having his last pit stop within a few laps, and he has to make sure that he doesn't overdo it. Just keep it nice and tidy, so it doesn't seem he has any problem with traction at this moment.
So back to Bojov and Campos. Campos defends aggressively. Bojov around the outside will break later. And he goes around the outside. Oh, wow. So Bojov now. Oh, as Campos spins. Half spin. And he'll onto the grass. So, unfortunate for Alessio. He was pushing it to the limit there. He won't lose any positions other than the position he already lost to Bojov. But wonderful by Yorick to take, effectively, that's P3 from Alessio.
Yeah. Campos just lost a little bit of traction there, coming out of corner of inside of the entry of corner 2. But that was a brilliant move by Jorrit Boshoff.
And back to the lead. So Brzezinski hasn't pitted. There's 17 laps to go. So Klopp, how many laps do you think he'll do on the Super Soft? 13, 14?
I think he might stop after indeed lap 30. Something like that. Maybe even 31, 32, so he can push it even a little bit more than that. But I mean, Brzezinski should consider a stop any lap now.
Yeah, and you'll want to get those fresh softs and sort of undercut Klopp, or not undercut, but gain some lap time from fresh tires.
I mean, he's still gaining time from Klopp, so as soon as he sees the lap time without him making any mistakes, as soon as he sees the lap time going down and Klopp actually gaining from him, for him, that's the time for him to make a pit stop. So 31.0 for Brzezinski in sector 3, and Klopp follows that with a 31.2, so it's still Brzezinski here with the advantage. And it's still Brzezinski who edges out the lead that he already built up.
Klopp pits. Very early. Is he going to put on softs?
He might put on
softs.
I mean, I don't see him do 16 laps on super softs. So.
That's his only chance of a win, though. Maybe he's not going for the win. Remember, Brzezinski is not really fighting him for a championship. So Klopp.
Super softs it is for Klopp. Balls deep here, Rens Klopp. Balls deep. That's what we like here. Rens Klopp, go do it, man. Go do it. Show them how it's done.
Yeah, he's set fire to the cannon now, and he's going to explode out of the pit lane with 16 laps stint on the Super Soft. We'll see how this goes for Rens.
Brzezinski instantly pressed the pit confirm button, and he's going in this lap, I'm sure. Because if he won't, I mean, he would just lose a second each lap, I'm sure. He's smart enough and wise enough to make a response. And maybe it's Rens Klopp here. He is behind Mikko Sokas, but if he can get past relatively easy, he might even take 1 second out of this lap already. So here goes Kuba Brzezinski going on side into the pit corner.
We are stretching the limit to the track. And remember, he's going to have to put on the softs according to the rules. He hasn't used both compounds. There we go, soft tire runs.
So and Rens Klopp is stuck inside traffic once more. Although this time it's not like his first pit stop, this time it's actually for a position and he has to actually lift here. So Cuba Brzezinski already going outside of the pit and releases his pit limiter now. Rens Klopp has no way to take this lead away from him at this stage. But mind you, it's super soft between softs, and if Rens Klopp can make a move in, he can maybe desperately hold on in the later stages of the race when you have 3 or 4 or even 5 laps to go. His tires might have been worn out by that time, but I mean, if he defends well, I mean, could be a possibility.
But remember, Brzezinski had pretty much the exact. Did they pit at the same time, him and Rens Klopp? I'm not sure, but his worn super softs were faster than Klopp's worn softs, so that will be interesting. No, it's only 4.6 seconds the gap from Klopp to Brzezinski. This race is on for the lead. This race is
definitely
on. As Holmes pits from P13, and back to the battle between Campus, Brewer, and Filosa. Filosa with that lowercase name always gets to me. The quite unique name there, but Campus will have to defend from Brewer. So Campus, after that spin, is on the back foot now.
Yeah, I think what we will see here is that the Rens will catch Cuba Brzezinski and either has trouble in passing him, and the positions will stay like that because Rens Klopp will lose out on his tire wear, or the other way around. At this moment it's Boshoven and Schroer who are fighting it out, but Schroer just with the higher top speed even just edges out of Schroer. So
for some reason Brozov let Schroer through. I think they're not on different strategies, are they? For some reason, yeah, Brozov just let Christoph Schroer through. I thought maybe he was trying to let him get. I thought Brozov was trying to get DRS, so effectively letting Schroer be the rabbit and Brozov being the dog.
Maybe he's thinking, okay, I can't push George Winter now. Maybe my team Hover can do it, and we can pressure him like that.
So Brozov made a mistake, it seemed. Yeah, that's what Sam Jones is telling us. So we missed that in the commentary booth, and now Brozov has effectively lost that position to Christoph Schroer, and their teammates as well.
Okay, lap times now 12.260 for Brzezinski, and Klopp answers with a 12.522. So Rens with super soft tires, and mind you, they are both even as fresh, loses 3/10. So that's another good perspective for Rens to be in when you are slower on the super soft tires than the soft compound.
Did you say Klopp lost time?
Yeah, he definitely lost 3/10 that last step compared to Brzezinski.
And Campus has just been passed by Daniel Brewer on the at turn 1, and now he's going to be hunted down by Swerkus and Filosa, but Swerkus is on super softs and so is Daniel Brewer, so that's probably why they're disposing of Alessio Campus very quickly. I'm assuming they'll have to pit sometime soon. I'm not really sure about that, but we'll see in the remaining laps. And
in front of Rens Klopp, Eugene van Loggerberg is collecting some of the grass, but fortunately doesn't spin on track.
And now here's Cordell Cahill. Hopefully he lets Klopp through this time.
Yeah, man. I mean, last time around was really ridiculous. Rens does have the DRS effect here. I mean,
sorry to cut you off, but
yeah.
Cahill was letting Klopp through, and he hit the wall, and I thought he was going to come and pinball back into Klopp. Van Loggenberg gets straight out of the way, so good job from the blue flag.
That's how it's done, man. That's how it's done.
That's how it's done, and now Schroer on the outside of Winter. Oh, there's almost contact.
And this might have been the tactical decision of Jorik Boshoff. He just lets his teammate through, or from his sister team, in order to threaten to take a podium away from George Winter. Christoph Schroer looking quite nicely through this sector, but I mean, with 14 laps to go on super softs with his driving style, and don't get me wrong, but he is the one that has the most problems into managing tire wear, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And going back to the battle with Swerkus past Campus, but with their tyre wear, especially Ren's Klopp. The gap's 4 seconds now, but we'll see see how long his super softs last. It's 3.8 across the line. So now, as I said before, the race is on for this win and this lead.
Yeah, it was 3/10. 3/10. Klopp was faster this lap than Brzezinski, and with 4 seconds to go, we have 10 laps. Well, could be done, but we have to take.
Sorry to interrupt you at turn 1. That was Schur, I think, and Winter making contact. Schur got in front of Jong Winter. He pulled in front of the braking zone. Winter just went straight into the back of him, and I'm sure there's plenty of damage and some tears to be wiped from each of their faces there.
I'm sorry to say, even though it's George Winter who touches Schroer there, I don't think it's a right decision from Schroer to cut across when you're fighting for a position like that and actually leave him no space for braking. You can't expect anything from that. So seriously, in my point of view, it was Schroer with the failing racing ethics, let's put it like that. But not my decision to make. Hello, Carlos Martin. Hello.
That's the unfortunate job of race director for Carlos.
Not unfortunate. I mean, it's really you are in a really responsible place, and I think we can just encourage that we have people that are spending so much of their private time into making the post-race checks, like Eduard and Carlos Martin and Christopher Kopp. And then we have seen a lot of criticism alongside on the forum recently, but I think basically when you have criticism, it can only lead to improvement, right? So we're always keen to improving on FSR. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, definitely, with sim racing every year becoming more and more.
Schroer on Boshoven. Will he do it? They are teammates of each other. Schroer just having a look here, and let's Jorik Boshoven live.
I'm pretty sure Schur's tires are shot after that spin, and he's on super softs as well. So
I was still sure. in the replay. Sorry for that replay commentating there on the straight. Oh my god, just messing up.
That's alright.
However,
no one will.
What is live is that 12.7 is the lap time of Brzezinski, and Ren's Klopp just 1.5 tenths behind that. I mean, for me, driver of the day already is Brzezinski. I mean, talking about a fresh air inside of the pro competition, Brzezinski is definitely delivering it. And 22.5 in sector 1 for him. And Ren's Klopp matching that.
Schur and Bojov now. Christoph, no, brakes early, doesn't let Bojov through. I'm not sure if he doesn't have confidence with the car after a bit of damage to the rear end.
I think he's taking relatively more care into overtaking his teammate Jorik Boshoven than he just did with Brewer. But that could be only my observation, I don't know. But we still have 9 laps to go. A lot of things can happen, but I think Brzezinski is going to take this winning.
Certainly looks like it, but the gap now, we will look as Rando Tam lets Ren's Klopp through. 3.4 was the gap last time around. I think Klopp has lost time on this lap, so we'll see the gap now. 3.8,
half a second. Cuba Brzezinski reclaims half a second. So this is going to be really tough for Rens. I mean, I know he has a lot of talent inside him, but this is going to be really tough.
Back to Christoph Schur and Jorik Bojov. Now we'll see round 2. Schur, DRS on, across the start-finish line, right onto the back of Bojov. And once again does the same thing he did last lap. And doesn't attempt any move. So maybe some ghost speed orders there. Maybe they're on TeamSpeak or some sort of communications. I mean, they don't want to interrupt each other.
Yeah, well, there you say something, because Schroer and Brewer already interrupted each other, driving for the same team here. So GS Racing Pro.
Yeah, Schur's weaving almost, so he's trying to throw off. Oh, Brewer's. Oh, look at that! Did you see that? Wow, Daniel Brewer drifted through turn 9. I thought he was going to spin it. Excellent car control, and that's not going to do any good for the tyres, but for a drifting competition, well done. Score now is going to pass Berjov.
He has to take him. I mean, he's already out of the back of him, and he challenges for the inside. And Jorg Boshoven, being the wiser of the two, and lets his teammate live. And he even gets DRS now, and now you see DRS come into play. And now it's easy to cut across. But like he did with his teammate Daniel Brewer just a few laps ago, that was not really acceptable from both parties, let's put it like that.
No, I think that was sorry. Brewer just knocked off Berjov off the track.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. So teammates there, that's just pretty much blown our discussion out of proportion about team orders. There's definitely no team orders at Ghost Speed. Brewer just bumped Berjov, and Berjov lost control off the track.
Did look a little bit insecure through that part of the track, though. He didn't have the right lines there, but
yeah, actually, you're probably right. I will correct myself there. It seemed Berjov lost the car slightly, so that's why Brewer almost gave him a tap. So we won't blame Daniel Brewer on that. But now that's Mikko Swerkos right onto the back of Daniel. And remember, these two had back of the grid penalties, so a great race from them to be in 4th and 5th. As Swerkos will have DRS now.
Yeah, Swerkos challenging Daniel Brewer here for 4th place. And as he opens the DRS, Daniel Brewer is out of contention for 4th place, you should say. But he dives up inside. But Mikko Swerkos just gives him the breathing space that is required for both parties to continue on their way. And Mikko Swerkos here with brilliant defending, doing a superb job, and might even have a challenge for the podium here. Remember, Christoph Schroer just went off and burned his rubber with 6 laps to go. I think, especially for Schroer's case, he will have a lot of problems with tire in the remaining laps. Who, however, is not having any problems in the last laps of the race is Brzezinski. Yet again, 13.296, and Klopp with only 1/10 faster than that. With 5 laps to go, the gap of 4 seconds is remaining, and it has remained for the last lap. So I don't think there's any way that Rens Klopp can take this away from Brzezinski if he doesn't make any mistake. Rens Klopp, however, is still secure of 2nd place because he has a 27-second lead over 3rd place Christoph Schroer. That gives you an impression of how fast these two guys are actually challenging each other.
Yeah, and if Brzezinski wasn't there, this would be an easy win for Klopp. So well done to Cuba on that. Robert Cuba Brzezinski will call him for this race because he's doing a great job. As we'll watch Campus this lap, and I want to go on board with him because this is quite entertaining to watch. He's defending, he's not breaking any rules, but he's maximizing what the rules allow you to do in terms of defending and your position and maintaining your line. And hats off to Campus on that. He's taking unusual lines through those last few corners, and that's sort of forcing Filosa to chase his slipstream and not take a favorable line. We'll watch it now. Or when they come across to the start finish straight, I meant to say.
Yeah, and Klopp is really having problems with the tire degradation. Let's put it like that, because he's losing out now, and well, there we pretty much have our podium.
Yeah, it's pretty much almost set it,
but Schroer here losing 9/10 of Mikko Swerkos, so Swerkos edging out the lead here that Christopher Schroer has above him. This is going to be interesting for the last remaining spot on the podium.
Yeah, Brewer's got the pace as well, so he'll try and get rid of Swerkos. In the meantime, Christoph Schroer is under immense pressure, as the gap from Klopp to Brzezinski is 3.4. So, did Brzezinski make a mistake? There's going to be 3 laps remaining when he crosses the line. We'll look at the gap when he crosses the line, so we maintain consistency there. So
13.8 for Cuba and 13.0 for Rens. That is certainly surprising.
Okay. Yes. Ooh. So your thoughts on that?
Nah, I think the gap is still too big. I think Brzezinski will keep his head cool. Like I said, a mistake is easily made. And Christoph Schroer, however, let's see what his lap time will be. It's a 13.566 and Suokas with a 13.4. So Schroer finds himself the second life in his tires, which is necessary in order to keep on to this podium spot, because Mikko Suokas is smelling blood and he's ready to challenge for the last spot.
Yeah, in terms of the championship as well, Klopp will have a 2-race lead over Yorick Bojov now, if unless something happens, no commentator curse. 3 seconds, the gap from Brzezinski to Klopp. Once again, across the line, there'll be 2 laps remaining. The gap is quite big, but you never know. Brzezinski now, and then Klopp, 2.9.
4 tenths. So, I think this gap is quite too big. But if we can go on board a little bit with Mikko Suokas, he's just eating away the advantage that Christopher Schroer has. And I think this is the battle that we should focus on for the remaining laps of this race. Also, in terms of top speed, Christoph Schroer has nothing to say to Mikko Suokas here. Mikko Suokas just eating away this advantage. And he's not yet ready to put an effort in this lap in order to overtake Schroer, but he certainly will be next lap if he can keep it together.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, 2 laps remaining of the 44 laps. Brzezinski will begin the final lap in 15 seconds time.
Yeah, I hope we're still on board with Mikko Suokas, because he's pressuring Christoph Schroer in any way that is possible. And he has the DRS here now, but to be honest, it's a pretty useless DRS zone. With 2 meters of DRS. Nevertheless, it does help a little bit. And every tiny little bit of DRS helps, and Schroer knows it. He knows that he has to drive some extremely defensive lines in order to get the momentum out of Suokas' car. And he is actually touching the grass here. This is the chance that Mikko Suokas was aiming for, and he already has to let it pass. I don't know, however, if Christoph Schroer can defend with DRS or that Mikko Suokas will still have it, because he let him pass already. Yeah, Mikko Suokas not with DRS here, Schroer with DRS, but the top speed is just not there of the Go Speed car. Faster than speed is just faster than Go Speed. on the Go Speed on the straight, even with DRS fully wide open for Christoph Schroer. So brilliant job from Mikko Suokas, having to start from the back of the grid after having that cut early in the race. So
Brzezinski will.
Brzezinski is slowing down. He's seriously slowing down. He's just playing with Rens a little bit, just decreasing the gap. But nevertheless, it's a great victory for Kuba Brzezinski here, and well, he deserved it. Hats off for this Polish guy, and actually crashes the car. Oh, that's a little bit against the rules, dude. But let's hope he doesn't get any fragments, let's put it like that. So brilliant win from him, his maiden victory in his maiden race. And Rens Klopp has no answer but a second place. Nevertheless, productive day for him, and in terms of championship contest, in the terms of championship, he will have a great day. Mikko Suokas will have a great day as well, scoring his not first podium this season. He's already scored a few, I believe. But he adds one to that list, and well, Christoph Schroer just, yeah, I think he really scratched himself behind his ear right now with that incident he had with Daniel Brewer, because that effectively costed Go Speed the podium, having 2 drivers of the same team, of their team, touching each other.
Yeah, that will be a lot of comments definitely on their forums, or however they communicate as a team. Did you see that though with Schroer after he crossed the line? He almost did a wheelie. I think he hit some debris from Kuba Brzezinski. But as you said, going back to the Go Speed, internally that will be quite some Quite some interesting discussions there. So Holmes got Bojov across the line. Bojov finished out of the points. And
Wow.
Holmes crashes into some. This is a crazy after
How
the
can
race.
this happen? How can this happen? Well, really interesting race here, and I think it's fair to say that we got treated by a lot of exciting racing here, and it's only the warm-up show, because in, I think, just over an hour time we are about to start a World Championship where we have all of the top drivers into contention for well, a victory here, and well, what a race it's going to be, and what a race this has been. Kuba Brzezinski with his first win in his first race in FSR, and it's really something to applaud.
Yeah, wow, what a terrific job from him. It was 1.6 across the line from Klopp. The gap was a lot larger. I remember he slowed down, but Brzezinski, driver of the day. From I can already tell that you're going to vote for him. You said it before. So well done to Cuba there. As you said, World Championship later. I want to promote myself as a with some arrogance, because I'm going to drive there. So please watch it for me. No, just kidding. But it's definitely, that's the big show later on. That's in an hour and a half time. The broadcast will begin on YouTube, the same channel we are now. Don't forget.
I thought I just said that we only got really fast drivers in WC. I mean,
oh,
what's oh?
Is that?
Sucker
Are you
punch!
trying to?
Boom!
No, you know what? That's just gonna motivate me. You know what? Criticism, it motivates me. So keep it up.
Nah, you're a great driver, Jonny, and so is the rest of the pack there. Obviously, we're going to see a new crash battle between Morand and Huis. I mean, just saying that is gonna lively up myself. I hope it does the same for you guys. Keep in tune, and maybe just close the tab and reopen it in 1 hour, because we will get underway with WC, and I hope we will see you then as well. So for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you in an hour's time. Next to me was Jonny Simon, who's obviously going to race in the race that starts in an hour. And I wish you all for now a pretty good day.